Liu Ocean's subordinates entered the portal believing they were safe, but now that Jing had absorbed the electric energy of the dragons, his eyes were glowing. With a smile, he began to move like thunder and used the skill called Thunder Sword to attack those hiding in the portal, cutting their bodies into pieces. Liu Ocean's eyes widened in fear, causing his jaw to drop and sweat like crazy. He couldn't believe that Jing's attack could directly cut through the void. It didn't take him long to conclude that the plan had failed. While Jing's body was surrounded by powerful energy, he began flying through the sky chasing after the others. Jing Washuang, who had his knees and hands resting on the ground, started using his power, gradually freeing himself from Liu Ocean's ability. Liu Ocean came out of the portal and his attention fixed on Jing, giving everyone the order to break the formation since Jing Chen could transform thunder punishment into energy to then use it to his advantage, revealing that there was no way to stop him. Dan Lishuang's gaze was full of confusion and surprise. Wu Qingqing emerged from the portal and her attention fixed on Liu Ocean. While on the other side, Liu Hang couldn't help but go into shock. Liu Ocean gave everyone the order to leave the portal since his ability would no longer be able to contain Jing Washuang for much longer. Everyone had to escape as soon as possible to save their lives and not lose the spark of hope. Liu Sandao was not going to let this happen. Her gaze fixed on them, with an expression full of determination. She extended her hand toward them and using her power began to summon a shield, revealing that if they wanted to escape, they would first have to break her shield. She summoned an improved version of the Eternal Shield of Life. In an instant, a powerful shield made of blue energy appeared around the area, trapping everyone inside. Upon seeing the shield, Wu Qingqing emerged from the portal, unsheathed her blades, and her attention focused on the shield. She came up with the idea of attacking altogether to break it. Once the energy of the portal disappeared, Tang Ying appeared in front of her, drew her dagger, and while her eyes were shining, she began to look at her with interest and with a smile asked where she had planned to go, revealing that she was her opponent. Wu Qingqing was forced to activate her power and prepare for combat, promising to kill Tang Ying. Dan Lishuang tried to help, but Bai Feng intervened and using his sword launched a powerful attack toward her. But Dan Lishuang used her power and blocked the attack without much effort, and while her hand was surrounded by blue energy, with a serious expression she made it clear that Bai Feng was not a worthy opponent for her. Bai Feng did not back down and said that whether he was a worthy opponent or not would be known after the fight. One of Liu Ocean's subordinates tried to flee from the two members of Jing's group, but the man with the ponytail reacted in time and finished off the man with a precise blow to his back, causing him to start bleeding from his mouth. He mentioned that turning your back on the enemy was not prudent at all. The shirtless man turned to his companion and suggested not standing around doing nothing. He wanted to fight to help Jing. Mu Hangqiu's eyes began to shine upon seeing Jing killing everyone. She also decided to show off a little. Using her daggers, she ended the life of one of her enemies. The prince decided not to stay behind. With a serious gaze, he extended his hand and used his power. According to him, Mu Hangqiu was right. To be the perfect couple, they both had to kill several more. The sky was filled with thunder, and Jing moved quickly through the air, leaving a trail of energy in his path. Using the thunder sword, Jing once again ended the lives of two men who were hiding inside the portal. He put his hand into his pocket and with a murderous look, began to watch how they writhed in pain silently. Seeing that two more members had fallen, Liu Oshun gave Liu Hang the order to first get rid of Jing. The gaze of Liu Hang, who was inside the portal, fixed on Jing. With a calm expression, he nodded his head, vowing to fulfill the order. Using spatial jump, Liu Hang appeared behind Jing and tried to attack by surprise. But with an evil smile, Jing reacted in time and moved at lightning speed out of range of the attack. Using the sword, our boy once again massacred one of the men who was inside the portal. Then he started looking at Liu Hang and with a confident smile mentioned that Liu Hang had arrived late, revealing that with each spatial jump he used, he would massacre one of his companions. Liu Hang could not believe this, realizing that Jing was too fast, he could not catch up to him at all. Liu Oshun used his power, and his eyes began to shine. Liu Hang's eyes also began to shine, causing him severe pain. Liu Oshun explained that his eyes could follow Jing's trail. Now his consciousness was connected with Liu Hang's, granting him a clear understanding. He nodded confidently, sure he could catch Jing this time. But just then, Jing appeared behind him, and as he was preparing to attack, he started staring at him intently with a gaze full of vengeance, revealing that he had been waiting for this moment. He called Liu Hang a sewer rat and said that this time he had been too slow. Upon hearing Jing's voice, Liu Hang's eyes widened in fear. He couldn't help but panic, knowing there was no longer any way to escape. Jing used the thunder sword and unleashed a powerful thunderbolt toward Liu Hang. A great electric current fell upon his body, shattering the ground into pieces. Our boy's eyes were full of satisfaction. He turned to the side and with a smile mentioned that originally this moment belonged to Jing Washwang, and he didn't want to steal others' fun. Little by little, Jing Washwang began to free himself from Liu Oshun's curse, while his body was releasing an intense red energy. He started to stand up and his gaze fixed on Liu Oshun. Liu Oshun put his arm in front of him and began spitting blood from his mouth, as he could no longer continue restraining Jing Washwang. While holding the wound on his shoulder with one hand, he fell to his knees on the ground. Several of Liu Oshun's subordinates appeared. They all drew their weapons and with a confident expression began advancing toward Jing Washwang. They had come to help, now that they couldn't escape. The only thing left for them was to fight with all their strength, vowing to protect Liu Oshun at all costs. Now that Jing Washwang had freed himself from Liu Oshun's curse, he forcefully stomped the ground and leaped. Just before one of the men could attack him, he moved quickly and delivered a strong punch to his face, causing his body to be flung to one side. He grabbed another man by the head and smashed his body against the ground. He began shouting, and with an enraged expression made it clear they were courting death. The others panicked, knowing they were finished and couldn't stand up to him. Jing, who was flying, appeared behind him. He started observing him and couldn't help but smile upon seeing that he had freed himself from the curse, mentioning that killing this number of people wasn't enough. Jing Washwang's eyes were shining with hatred. He turned to Jing and replied that then they could only rely on speed to compete by killing. Dan Lishwang turned to them, and with a furious gaze explained that they were celebrating victory too soon. Then she extended her hand toward Bai Feng. Water emerged from the ground and trapped Bai Feng's body by the neck and legs, revealing that Liu Oshun's water strangles and purifies the soul. The poor Bai Feng began screaming in pain, begging to be saved. Jing moved like thunder, and using the celestial sword, cut through the water freeing Bai Feng's body. He grabbed Bai Feng's unconscious body with his hand and began showing a serious expression. Dan Lishwang turned towards them, and upon seeing that Jing had saved Bai Feng from the attack, her jaw dropped as she couldn't believe that Jing was so fast. Not far from them were Liu Sandao and Li Bing. He reached out to them and used his ability called Growth of All Things. A root emerged from the ground and began transporting Bai Feng's body to them. Our boy gave the order to Liu Sandao to catch the body and to Li Bing to heal it. Liu Oshun's eyes filled with fear and surprise, his gaze fixed on Jing. And it didn't take him long to realize that he was using an electric field, a 50-meter field. Jing was moving quickly with the help of the electric field, similar to an electric current. He gave the order to Dan Lishwang to isolate Jing's electric field. She had to find a way to break it as soon as possible. Her eyes filled with seriousness and she extended her hand toward Jing. Releasing water, she used the technique called golden water to isolate the electric field, making a water barrier appear around Jing. Our boy turned to one side and upon seeing this, he realized that she had planned to trap him inside the water barrier. He unsheathed the celestial sword, focused, and attacked the water barrier with all his strength. At first, a small cut was made in the barrier, but it quickly closed again. Jing realized that it could not be cut. Our boy placed the sword on his shoulder and began to observe Dan Lishwang. She started to fly and asked Jing if he hadn't heard that cutting water with a sword only made it flow more, revealing that water benefited things without edges. The stiffer and stronger his sword was, the stronger the barrier would become. A smile appeared on Jing's face. And seeing that he didn't need to use the sword, he called Little Nine and asked for her help to stow the sword. She summoned a small portal, and Jing inserted the sword into it, asking her not to devour it. Jing clenched his fist, which began to release Zhao energy. He didn't believe that the stronger he hit, the harder it would be to break the barrier. Dan Lishwang, who was flying in the air, admitted that Jing was someone stubborn. The eyes of our boy began to shine, and he prepared to strike the barrier, mentioning that if he didn't try it, they would never know. He used the technique called Divine Prison Fist and launched a powerful red burst of energy towards it. His attack was so powerful that his foot sank into the ground. A powerful fist made of energy began to advance toward Dan Lishwang. She couldn't help but panic upon seeing that Jing had been able to break the golden water barrier, which was one of the strongest defenses in the world. The fist struck her directly, causing her eyes to shine. She opened her mouth and began spitting blood. Her body started descending toward the ground until it crashed forcefully. Jing's attention focused on her, and he mocked her by saying that she had brought this upon herself. Now her body was full of wounds, and her head was covered in blood. Our boy asked her not to die just yet and to summon a bit more water so he could wash his hands. Liu Oshun stood up. He was in shock to see that Dan Lishwang's golden water barrier had been broken. One of Liu Oshun's subordinates drew his sword and charged at Jing Wushuang to attack. While he was holding one of the men by the head, his attention fixed on Jing and his eyes filled with rage upon seeing that he had finished the battle in 10 seconds. While he was still here wasting time, he was very upset, so he used his body of the god of war and struck the ground forcefully. Hands made of energy emerged from his body and crushed his opponents without much effort. Liu Oshun put his hand in front and his attention fixed on him, realizing there was no way to escape. His eyes began to shine. He extended his hand toward Jing Wushuang and used his ability called Double Pupil, Extinction of the Desolate Horizon. In an instant, 3 eyes appeared behind him. The eyes started staring at Jing Wushuang. Instead of feeling fear, he began to smile, calling Liu Oshun useless for believing he could catch him again. 3 eyes appeared around Jing, with a calm expression. He remembered that with the help of the ancestral tree, no type of illusion had any effect on him. Liu Oshun launched himself towards Jing Wushuang, swearing that even if he had to fall, he would do so alongside them. He was determined to take at least one of them with him, since without them, his other companions from the 4 war zones would still have hope. Jing Wushuang turned around and began observing how little by little he was getting closer. Just before Liu Oshun could attack, he reacted in time and delivered a strong punch to his back, causing his body to crash forcefully against the ground. His eyes began to shine with rage as he swore to exterminate the 4 great war zones. He turned to Jing and with a smile praised him, since everything was thanks to his tactic. Jing began to show a finger and with a serious expression asked him not to get excited so soon, advising to look up. Just then, the secret realm circle began to shrink. Everyone panicked as they had to clear the battlefield and defeat their opponents as soon as possible. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, so subscribe to our channel. The screen was showing Jing, who activated his power and prepared to attack. In the room were Jing Zuenji and Ling Qiu. They were somewhat surprised to see that Jing had the Sovereign of Electricity class at a hidden level. Jing Zuenji's attention, as he floated, was fixed on the screen. He was impressed since Jing Chen was becoming more and more remarkable. With his own potential combined with the 9 miasma wings, perhaps in the future, he would be able to enter the golden list of the 10,000 races. Linkyu's eyes were shining calmly. With a smile, he mentioned that aside from Jing Chen, his grandson Jing Huashuang also had potential, and according to him, Liu Shan and Dan Lixuang had also shown an acceptable performance. He put his hand over his face, closed his eyes, began to imagine his granddaughter Zuenyu, and could not help but feel disappointed since she was the leader of her team and instead of making use of the time, she had been wasting it. Jiang Zuenji placed his hand on his shoulder and with a kind smile reassured him by saying that many geniuses were disoriented so he did not have to worry. Shi Zuenyu's father's eyes filled with rage. He turned to Jiu Caxon and with a furious expression asked why he had hidden that his disciple also had the profession of electricity. Jiu Caxon also got angry, but he remained silent. He couldn't believe that Jing had hidden from him that he had obtained a new class. According to him, this was an unforgivable lack of respect. But he couldn't let others know that he didn't know about it, and he thought that at this moment, staying silent was the best way to appear profound. The father crossed his arms, turned towards the screen, and couldn't help but smile with an envious expression. He mentioned that the electricity profession was the best in attack. According to him, Jiu Caxon was very lucky to have accepted Jing as a disciple. Jiu Caxon also crossed his arms and with a serious gaze began observing Jing. Our boy was making him look good. And for him it wasn't surprising that before entering the secret realm, Jing had told him that he was going to give him a surprise. The statistics table appeared, the war zone of the capital. Jinganan, Madu, and Guanhai had 10 people remaining. The war zone of Wuxing, Tianfu, Qinglan, and Qinluo had 5 people remaining. It was a pity that old Duan, the commander of Jinganan, was not present, otherwise, he would be so happy that he would do a few military boxing sessions to celebrate. Seeing the table, Xing and the others began to discuss among themselves. With an angry expression, the grey-haired man turned to them and explained that half of their geniuses had been eliminated and that their warriors were not as good as those from Jinganan. Xing supported her hands on her abdomen, began to observe the screen, and with a serene gaze explained that there were still 2 hours left, and she hoped that the others could hide well. The muscular man crossed his arms. He was furious upon seeing that the Jinganan war district really knew how to pretend to be weak and then attack with force. Inside them sat Jiu Kaishan and the others, Xing's gaze fixed on Jiu Kaishan. She took it out on him, saying that when it came to playing dirty, Jinganan always won since old Jiu Kaishan had taught them well. Jiu Kaishan did not lose his composure and with a calm gaze made it clear that whoever wanted to kill must also be ready to be killed. He mocked them by explaining that a sewer rat had attempted a stealth attack and did not expect to be counter-attacked, mentioning that Xing and the others could not accept defeat. He thought that Jinganan this time seemed to be aiming for first place and now even the capital could suffer a great defeat. The general of the capital rested his hand on his knee, turned towards them, and with a confident gaze made it clear that the capital was not full of useless people compared to them. Pointing at the table with his finger, he suggested they check to see how many geniuses they had left instead of wasting time provoking. Just then, someone mentioned that the Guanghai war zone was the best. The muscular man stood up and when he looked to the side, he saw Yuan Junshan. He was furious to see that even he had betrayed them. Yuan Junshan stuck his finger inside his nose, closed his eyes, and with an arrogant smile said that he would be a fool if he didn't take advantage of the opportunity. He threw a snort at them and a smile spread across his face. Seeing this, Xing and the others began to curse him, calling him a scoundrel. Back in the secret realm, several men tried to attack 2 unsuspecting girls, but the brown-haired girl drew her sword, turned around, and with an expression full of determination, swung her weapon forcefully, ending the man's life. The other girl also reacted in time and using her weapon, killed the man. Both began shouting that they would not allow a Niwen to approach Song Chengji. While they were fighting, a black-haired man was watching everything from a cliff. He placed his hands behind his back and fixed his attention on them, making a smile appear on his face. He was Guanghai's top genius, called Song Chengji. His eyes were filled with surprise as he realized there was no need for him to intervene to take care of them. Realizing that even the useless had their utility, the identity that the Church of the Ancient God had assigned him this time was not bad at all. A few days after his sudden arrival in the Guanghai war zone, the geniuses did not accept him, so he had to tie up the women, whose eyes were shining with hatred. They were very furious. One of them began to caress her cheek and showed a kind smile. Feeling this, the woman could not help but blush, and instead of feeling hatred, she now felt love. Thanks to his strength and courteous manners, Song Chengji managed to earn everyone's trust since, after all, humans could not resist a powerful and humble man. After defeating her opponents, the brown-haired woman dropped her sword on the ground, turned around, and with a smile began to observe Song Chengji, making her eyes fill with joy. The other woman also turned around, closed her eyes, and with a kind smile began to greet him. Once Song Chengji obtained the first place in the genius ranking, he was going to absorb the vital essence of these proud women. And although their lineage and divine soul were mediocre, something was better than nothing. He also remembered that the other outstanding women in the other zones were also quite powerful. They turned towards him and explained that they had finished off the enemies, and that the area of the secret realm was beginning to shrink. Finding where to go now, with a calm demeanor, he decided to first get rid of Madhu's war zone to be safer. They accepted without hesitation. Not far away there was an area that looked like a city. It was a ruined city located in the central area of the secret realm, surrounded by mountains, a truly dangerous terrain, and the only way to enter was by using the bridge. Ying Zan was the leader of the team of geniuses from the capital. With a calm gaze, he turned towards the others and decided to block the bridge. They were going to wait hidden like a hunter awaited its prey. His eyes filled with determination, he made it clear that this year they were going to eliminate the other 7 teams. He wanted the geniuses from the capital to occupy the ranking of the top 10 geniuses. Upon hearing this, everyone was filled with enthusiasm, raised their fists, and started shouting. The statistics board appeared in front of him. The war zone of capital, Jiangding, Madhu, and Guanghai had 10 people, while the war zone of Wuxing, Tianfu, Qinglan, and Qinliu had already lost their teams. Ying Zan clenched his fist and his gaze fixed on the system window. He could not believe that 4 teams had already been eliminated. He was somewhat surprised to see that the other teams had not suffered any casualties. He did not know who besides him had this ability. Questioning whether they were the geniuses of Jiangding or Madhu, he extended his hand to one side, and while his eyes were shining, he summoned his dragons. With an excited smile, he decided to change plans since winning effortlessly was very boring. He no longer wanted to wait and gave the order to his team to come with him to the front to search for and face the other teams. At the same time, somewhere else in the secret realm, there was Zai Kunyu's team. One of the men extended his hands and, with a confused expression, asked how 4 teams had been eliminated in less than half an hour. They had barely found the right path and already the circle had begun to close. With an angry expression, He Wei turned to them and made it clear that the captain had guided them on the right path. Zai Kunyu's eyes widened with seriousness. She turned to them and, with a serene gaze, gave them the order to stop talking and keep walking. Her expression changed and her eyes began to shine with sadness. She wanted to show off in front of Jiang Chen, but in the end, she hadn't had the opportunity to do so. She remembered that the 4 war zones that had been eliminated used to attack the capital together. This year it was likely that they had also been eliminated by the capital. She felt relieved since luckily, the Jinganan team was still complete and it was very likely that they had not yet entered combat just like her team. While she was deep in thought, birds flew out of their nests. Her attention fixed on them, she knew something was not right. She drew her bow, put her hand in front of the others, started looking at the sky. and with a serious gaze gave her team the order to stop and be on guard if someone wanted to attack them. She asked the attackers to show themselves. Everyone remained, watching in silence, not knowing what was happening. At that moment, Song Chengji emerged from the portal and his gaze fixed on her, his eyes filled with confidence. And he mentioned that he knew Zai Zuan-Yu had the divine level profession called Ye God Sun Extinguisher, along with the divine weapon called Extreme Flame Bow. The members of his team also emerged from the portal. They began to stare at Zai Zuan-Yu and the others in silence. Song Chengji appeared above the cliff and explained that it was no wonder she was second on the Great Zia Genius list. For him, it was a pity to have to face her, since if it had been elsewhere, he would have shown compassion. But in this battle for the genius ranking list, he had no choice but to finish her off. Zai Zuan-Yu started staring at him with a furious gaze and told him to go to hell. Upon hearing this, Song Chengji asked if she was ready to die. Her eyes began to shine with determination. She aimed at them with the bow and used the technique called Celestial Fire Meteor, causing a powerful arrow surrounded by fire to shoot towards them. Liu Yanfei was paralyzed with his mouth open, not knowing what to do. The arrow began to shine brightly in the sky, blinding everyone. The members of Song Chengji's team put their hands over their eyes, and some even turned around, realizing that this was the pressure of a divine profession. With a calm gaze, the brown-haired woman asked everyone to stand firm since they had the help of Song Chengji. While little by little the arrow was getting closer to them, he extended his hand to one side and could not help but praise Zai Zuan-Yu for having talent. He took out a thread and threw it towards the arrow, catching it as if nothing. For him it was a pity since Zai Zuan-Yu had run into him. She was in shock upon seeing that her arrow had been caught by a fine thread. Song Chengji caught the arrow and used his power, making blue energy appear around it. He began to observe the arrow and with a smile decided to be courteous and let her die knowing the truth, revealing that he had 2 divine level professions. With the profession with which he had caught the arrow, it was called Celestial Weaver of Stars. His eyes began to shine with malice. He started staring at her intently and with a smile revealed that his second profession was called Divine Shadow of the Great Zhu Tian. He used his power, making a copy of his body emerge. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of copies of Song Chengji appeared in the area, surrounding them on all sides. He said that although these 2 divine-level professions separately could not compare to her profession, being under the control of a single person, they had a terrifying power. The members of Zai Zuan-Yu's team were in shock upon seeing that he had 2 professions. One of the men was paralyzed with fear as he did not expect Song Chengji to have this ace up his sleeve. She grabbed one of the arrows she had on her back, started staring intently at Song Chengji, and caught Zai Song's attention, who was from the perceptive class. She asked if he had found the main body. Zai Song extended his hand towards him and with a gaze full of fear, he used his powers and revealed that all the clones had anchor points. And the main body could transfer to any anchor point at any time, which meant that each clone could be the main body. The people from the Guanghai war zone were cunning. They didn't know why they weren't going to attack the capital with these kinds of dirty tricks instead of attacking them. Zai Zuan-Yu did not lose her composure and with a determined gaze, she gave the order to her team to follow the previous plan. If they could fight, then they had to do it, and if not, then they had to look for an opportunity to break through. Upon hearing this, everyone drew their swords and surrounded Zai Zuan-Yu. Song Chengji was confused to see this. She used the technique called Scorching Sun above and then the technique called Golden Crow's Fire Rain. She launched a powerful arrow into the sky, which transformed into a giant fire crow. Song Chengji watched in silence while his team members panicked. The crow spread its wings and began to burn all of Song Chengji's clones. He mocked her, saying that the technique was beautiful but useless since he could create as many clones as he wanted and she could not break his defense. His eyes began to shine, and he reached out his hand toward the sky, and with a smile, he said that this was boring. Then he used the technique called 1,000 threads and created a celestial and terrestrial net. He pointed at the fire crow with his finger, causing its body to crash against the trees. A web of threads trapped the crow's body, making it start to explode. Everyone remained watching in silence, not knowing what to do. She could not believe that the technique she had struggled so much to improve had been defeated so easily. A woman and a man stood behind her, extended their hands, and using their powers, created a shield. Zai Shanyu began to stare silently at Song Chengji. And they revealed that the net was still shrinking, and he wanted to trap them to death. She raised the bow and ordered everyone to use their ultimate abilities to resist. Everyone obeyed and summoned a shield. She used the ability called Extreme Flame, making a giant bow appear in the sky. She asked everyone to take advantage of this moment to find a way to break through from above. An explosion occurred in the place. Jing and his team were near the area. Upon feeling the explosion, he could not avoid wondering if it was Shanyu and the others. The man who was by his side became curious and asked if there was any problem. Our boy knew that they had gotten into big trouble. His eyes began to shine with fear. He revealed that he was going to go rescue the magic city, giving everyone the order to follow him. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, so subscribe to our channel, share the video, and like.